Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for some Thursday night rugby action. It is the Under-20 World Championship. It is the hosts, the Springboks, or the Baby Boks, rather. South Africa taking on Argentina in tonight's clash, and should be an absolute cracker. The man in the middle is Takahito Namakawa. Before we get underway, very, very shortly, we're going to go through the teams in a little bit, but welcome, settle into the stream. We are watching some junior under-20 rugby. 5 seconds on the clock before we get going. And it is going to be, hopefully, a really good clash. Because we saw these two teams take on each other in the under-20 Rugby Championship. As Liam Kung does get underway. And I'll tell you what, Zachary Portland, of all people, the South Africa captain, a tight end, getting there first off the kickoff, which was quite short, actually. So a nice bit of variation early on from the Baby Boks, by the way, who hammered Fiji over the weekend and looking to try and really build on that going into this clash where they're one of the favorites for the competition. They always have to be, don't we? You know, we've got such a good school system, for example. We've got so much talent in this country, and it's a good take by Letelitle Bester, who then loses the ball forward, actually not backwards rather, and it is to Batabile Shakani, who, I tell you what, if there's one person you want to keep your eye on tonight, it is probably the big number 7, who's playing at lock on the weekend, but in the number 7 jersey tonight from Graham College, an absolute unit of a man, and such an exciting prospect over there. But good ball in hand of you, and as a Moose goes to the boot, and we do have a good case there from Bester, and it's a great steal as well, coming from Tian Jacobs. So turnover boy here for the Baby Boks. Jay van Heerden, capped by the Bulls, carries it into contact. Now Asad Moose goes to Liam Kun. Comes back aside as Bruce Sherwood. Quicker and a bit of space in behind this for Asad Moose. Goes to the boot. It will be cleaned up. And the kick back and a retreating Liam Kun was going to go back. And that ball is going to hold up just shy of that the try line. And with that left boot of his, Liam Kun will look to find touch. Does find touch. And we'll have our first line of the day. Not a bad opening, but a stanza that from the Baby Boks. Nice continuity, good kick chasing, good contesting on the ground as well as in the air. So if you want to sort of tick your boxes really from an opening passage of play, then that's pretty much how you do it. An early lineup here for Argentina. It will be Jean Gresen-Revol who will feed the lineup for the Argentinians, who, by the way, had an absolute incredible rendition of the national anthem a bit earlier. Yeah, spine-tingly stuff. They're so passionate, aren't they? Not a bad line here as well for Argentina. Baby Boks on a bit of pressure here. Quick service there from Thomas de Biaso. And we go back for the knock-on advantage there. Sorry, it's actually a penalty advantage for Argentina. So an early penalty here for the South Americans. And they will go to the butcher, will Argentina. I'm just sort of sorting out my team sheet, which is now finished, so I can really get into this. Had a couple of issues with PC earlier, but it all seems to have abated for now. So a bit of pressure earlier on, yeah, for the Baby Boks. They've got a 5-meter line out that they'll need to try and defend. They go to the front of the line out. Pretty well set here for Argentina. Revol at the back over there for the Argentines. And then we've got a stick and shove. This is going to be a try, by the way. Over they go. Over they go. Early try for Argentina. Horrible start that for the Baby Boks. What a well said more that is. They'll take so much confidence out of that as well. And Revol, his first try of the tournament, off the back of a very impressive maul. And that'll be an early warning sign to the Baby Boks that this Argentinian pack, I mean, only 4 Baby Boks actually really being committed into that. So eventually, by the time a couple of others jumped in, just far too late, or so well set by the Argentines. Very, very good work, it must be said, from them. Not the start that Bafana and Clerc would have liked from his team. They had a couple of nice moments, but, first real sort of time that they were asked any questions over there, and they were found wanting. Now the kick goes, and it's good. It is good. Very nice kick that from DeLuca. Yeah, you can't even be that angry about that. It's very well played by Argentina. It's just a well set maul. Right, so response now needed from the baby box, and it's a good kick chase, and I think it's a knock on from Argentina. So it is a turnover ball here for the baby box. Zachary Porfin has been spoken about by Rusty Rasmus. Reckons he's somebody to watch in the next few years. Reckon he could be in that box squad very, very quickly. And that's a nice solid take there from Ruan Swart. Now going to the big man inside center. That is Philip Albert van Niekerk replacing Joshua Ball. In the line. Now Jaks Kun, son of... So moving towards the right over here. But yeah, Liam Kung, son of Louis Kun. So some good heritage there in that number 10 jersey. But looking to hold up Van Niekerk. And I think it's actually, no, he is available. Asad Moose using it quickly. Bruce Sherwood comes in. And it's a nice carry from him. Getting involved nice and early. Here is Klikani offloading it to Tian Jacobs. And not the best cleaning out there. And it's a good penalty won by Argentina. A couple of notes in the coach's box. So I mean, what a name in the Springbok fraternity. Louis Kuhn obviously played for Springboks at fly half, but also currently coaches the women's side as well. So a great servant of SA Rugby and an exciting prospect in his son. Now on display this evening. Argentina winning that penalty back inside the Springbok or Baby Box half. So a bit of a slow start here, must be said, from the Baby Box after an exciting first stand. It's happening as accurate as they'd like to be. No reason to panic just yet, though. That's another good looking rolling maul. And Raval at the back there. It's a bit of a breakaway maul as well. Not much Asad Moose can do. And eventually it's brought down inside the 22. Got a bit of a snipe, bit of space down the side. It's a good carry. Back on the front foot here are Argentina. It's another carry from Raval. He's been very involved in this early stages. He already got a try to his name. Now bouncing off the tackle there is Fatisto Sanchez Valor. Now out wide. Oh my good, looks the space. Horrible defending from the Baby Box. They are shell-shocked. Second try within 10 minutes. And it's Jean Pedro Berlusconi who goes over. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Down the blind side, and it's a good pass. It's a good waste of space from Thomas DiBiase, the Argentinian scrum up. But I mean, where is the defense? Where is the defense? Not the start of champions here so far. In the comments, Eric saying, interesting that Under-20 All Blacks beat France. Very surprised. Just saying, who do you look forward to see play for the Box this weekend? And Nervous Jack saying, this is not Fiji. Yeah, well, very much not Fiji. It's a bit of a rude awakening here for our Baby Box, and they're going to have to come from behind if they are to try and win this game. So it's a nice test of character early on, if nothing else. If you're trying to find some positives, it's about the only sort of real positive I can find is the fact that we can... I mean, it was such a dominant display against Fiji. Basically, just stopped playing. It was about the only thing that was consoling us from losing the T20 Cricket World Cup was the fact that we were busy hammering Fiji at the same time. So, yeah, but not a good start yet from the Baby Box. Let's see how they can respond. I like to see a bit of test of character here. In terms of this weekend, though, I'm looking forward to seeing Quacker Smith go. I'll see how he goes at the breakdown. I'm very much looking forward to Jack Crowley versus Andre Bandiaki, Damon Elendi. Not used. I like that. Well, part of the new laws over there from the referee saying they need to use the ball at the base of the ruck. And he's a bit frustrated, but can only have himself really to blame. Thomas DiBiase. So we're all going to have a scrum here for the baby box. Hopefully an opportunity to try and get some ascendancy. Front row of Ron Swart, Luca Bacchus, and Zachary Porthen, as with a nice two behind them in the form of J.F. van Heerden and Jacobus Grobbelaar. Nice solid scrum, not getting too much dominance, but ball is battle for Asamoose, who goes to Van Niekerk in the midfield. Solid carry from him. Quick ball, one here from Moose. Another good, it's another penalty. The clearing out has not been good enough from the baby box there. And I think over there, you've got to look at your Renzo Julius, who's got to make sure that that ball gets secured. So not accurate enough here are the baby box. Second penalty at the breakdown. So a bit sloppy here from the baby box. You've had some good forward momentum when they've had carrying, but they've not secured the ball well enough, not protected the ball well enough. And that's starting to really hurting them. Jaden says, sack the coach. They can't stop them more. They can't defend. They can't go phase like giving out penalties, and there's no backline moves or attacking structure. I mean, it's probably a little bit premature to sack the coach a week after they did hammer Fiji. Yes, I know this is not Fiji, but we weren't terrible during that under-20 championship. In fact, played quite well at times. Let's see how they respond, shall we? Good to align that from Argentina despite the contest. So their set piece is looking pretty good. And that's good kicking behind. And Bester is back. And he will find touch. I'll tell you what I'm really impressed with so far, Argentina, is the way they're managing this game. They building momentum. When it's not on, they've kicked really well. They look a proper disciplined side. I don't think we can really say the same yet of the Springbok, the baby box. You've looked positive. When you've had ball in hand, you're getting over the advantage line. Just a couple of really silly mistakes early on. Nervous Jack saying Fiji really gave them false hope. And yeah, I'm going to completely mute that because the fun and clear call. Whether he's a cup of tea or not, has definitely earned his stripes as this. Oh, that's a great that's really good work there. Best has gone, charged it down, turned over the ball to Lorenzo Julius, the exciting player in this team. He steps inside, outside, brought it just outside the 22. Much better this from the baby box. Quick but then lost forward in contact. Contact. Got to do better than that. And then the clearance come from DiBiase. That's a nice little moment. I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of Litle Bester. He has got such a hard-working player. Got a good pace. I mean, as most sort of wings, obviously you're going to have good pace, decent finisher, but it's his work rate, for me, that's really stood out so far when I've watched him this year. A very, very exciting prospect. So hoping to see him. And look at this over here. It's never not. He keeps charging, bang, charge down. He's there to get the ball as well. We turn it over. And work rate is something that gets you into teams. Right, so first opportunity here. Rolling more here for the box. It is a penalty advantage. Now it's a nice sort of shove. Now it's starting to come through. Ball available there. There is a penalty advantage. And no, it's actually been held up. I'll take it all back. I thought there's a penalty advantage, but the referee's saying nothing wrong with that. And it's going to be turnover ball. Frustrating here for the baby box. Justin saying, get Dwayne in the mix with the baby box. I thought he was going to be involved in the baby box. They kind of made it seem as if he was going to be involved in the broader, SA rugby structures. It didn't really make it seem like he's going to be an extra Springbok coach. So I think I'm actually a little bit frustrated about that, the more I look at it. Because I just think, he'd be adding so much value to this team. So a little bit confused about his role if he's going to be with the Springboks during the Under-20 Championship. This is the biggest thing here now for, these players. So he's not going to be involved with them now. What's the point? Under-20 age group rugby is so interesting, isn't it? Because, we've seen teams win the tournament, for example, with players that go on to do very little. We've seen teams be terrible in tournaments with players, and then they go on to do very, very good things. That's a nice tackle, and that's nice physicality. Asamus and Van Niekerk there. Which is why I never get too upset about the results. I do think it is a competition we should be winning more than we have. Not had bad results. Came third last year, which I don't think was terrible. Had that sort of Six Nations type tournament the year before where we absolutely dominated. Here is Bester, I spoke about it earlier, and he's lost the ball in contact. That's a bit poor from him. The commentator's curse coming in there. Big carry that from a big man in the form of Filippo Bruno. Now in the midfield, it's a poor pass, and it's a knock-on there from Argentina. Oh, I tell you what, it's not going to count, but there was such a dirty little pass there from Thomas Medina. Round the back, straight to the man. Can we just, appreciate that for a second? Yes, I know it's not going to count, but how's this for a piece of skill? Ball in behind him, it's horrible. But Revol then pops it up here. And in fact, I lie, it's actually Fatusta Sanchez Valero. Oh, that's a great little pass. A nothing moment in the grand scheme of things, but would have been cool. Right, so scrum here for the Baby Boks. It will be available for Asamus at the back. Goes to Kun. Goes to Show first receiver. Now, Julius runs it hard. Picks it up and he has another go. Still going as Lorenzo Julius. We star player in this under-20 side. And there was a penalty there, I think, for offside. So first penalty of the day for the Baby Boks. An opportunity here to go to the line. Probably go to the rolling more. He's indicated for TMO here as the referee, Nakatawa. Not entirely sure what about, but Josh. So there's 3 penalties here from the Baby Boks. The first, I was just indicated for the ball. I was doing that as opposed to the thing. Kun will kick towards the line here. Opportunity for the Baby Boks to go to their set piece. Right, good take there from JF1 here. And remember, he is capped at senior level for the Bulls. So an exciting prospect that. Jake White really does rate him. And good more than now goes to Van Niekerk. Inside the 22. Referee, he's had his knees on the ground. They've got to put him down. Worse now. Jacobs runs it nice and hard and straight. Ball available. Krobalon now. Solid carry from him. I think this is what we need. Yeah, a couple of nice pick up and goes. Keep it nice and simple here. And we lose it forward. I don't understand what he was trying to do there. I mean, he had a nice hit, did Ruan Swart. And then he almost started trying to upload it to Tabang and Puffy in contact, who was just trying to drag him forward. So, I mean, what did I say? In fact, it was Ruan Swart. Lucas Buckers. All I said was just keep it simple here. Just had a couple pick and goes. And then we lose it forward. So, look a little bit like the occasion's gained him at the moment, the Baby Boks. You can see it's a great... it was actually ripped in the tackle. I'll take it all back. It was ripped in the tackle. Didn't see that from that angle. Right, so a start that leaves a lot to be desired so far here from the Junior Boks. Trading 12-0 after almost 90 minutes. Right. Bit of pressure there and a bit of a slip from Diasa. So Puffy goes in and a big counter-attack coming here from the Baby Boks. Bit of pressure on Argentina. Ball eventually available for DiBiase at the back. Sorry, carry there. It's a big man, is Diego Correa. Now looking to run. It's a nice tackle. That's a very good tackle. Has he been caught a little bit? No, we're going to go back for a offside penalty for Baby Boks. Discipline, as mentioned. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Especially when you are chasing a game. And that's kind of the problem, is you start getting a bit over eager. You start really wanting to try and force the issue. And they come offside. They have the Baby Boks and been pinged for it. Another good line like that from Argentina. And the Rolling Moore has already got a bit of a run. Still going as this Rolling Moore. I tell you what, this Los Pumitas side, this seems to be their weapon. It's still going. They've advanced about 30-odd meters here. And here's the penalty advantage as well. So the Baby Boks coaching staff have got a serious job in their hands to try and work out how they're going to stop this. Now, down the left-hand side, ball over the top. That looks forward, chipped back in the inside. Who's covering? Yeah, Clela does cover very, very well. We're going to go back for the penalty. All right, into touch, and Argentina on the front foot. Tell you what, this is danger signs here for the Baby Boks. Another try, you feel that'll probably be too much for them to come back from. Ball to the back. It's a good line out. It's a bit of a shift, actually, from Argentina. They go to the back of the line this time. It's a good take that from Joan Pinocos. And once again, this Rolling Moore is looking good, and they've invited more players into it. This is going to be another try. Has to be another try. Is another try. They are helpless to this Rolling Moore, are the Baby Boks. 17-0 after 22 minutes. What a start this on Los Pumitas. Raval's got a brace. He's bringing out all the celebrations, and the Baby Boks just looked absolutely panic-stricken, to be honest. And it's not a great kick. And now a bit of rain coming in to add a couple of... add some extra spice to the occasion. I'll tell you what, if you had seen that national anthem, you would have known that this Argentinian side are up for the game. So, yeah, I don't think this start is actually almost actually surprising. I mean, yeah, so there's actually a photo of the of the anthems, and I'll tell you what, they're an emotional bunch of the Argentinians, and when that emotion gets channeled into a constructive way, they become a very, very good sporting nation. Bruce Sherwood now slightly isolated, but support does arrive. Most goes to the boot. That's really good. Well taken by Leah Clela. So one back by the Baby Boks. Quick ball here from Moose. Zachary Portland at first. See where it goes. He gives it off to Ruan Swart. Moose now going to go back to the boot. We've done really well so far retaining it. It's not going particularly far. Leah Clela is there, as is Lorenzo Lewis. It is allowed to bounce. And does go all the way back and kick now towards the middle of the park. A retreating Philip van Niekerk allows it to bounce and then wraps it up. Goes inside to Kun. Kun looking for space. So it's back to Bruce Sherwood. Bruce Sherwood is wrapped up really well by Reval. And very isolated there. But it is available now for the Bay Boks. Now Jay van Heerden goes the more direct route. Need players like him and Batabila Hlakani to stand up. Very isolated there was Bacchus. Ball available though. Couldn't now stand and scrum off. Now here is Batabila Hlakani. Solid tackle on him. Ball available as well here from Wurst, who's got himself back up onto his feet. Right, goes to the boot here. Bester does give chase. Oh, that's a huge tackle from Tian Yakos and Bester. Up to their feet quickly as well. Counter-rack was almost on. Argentina do scramble to secure that ball, but that was a proper hit. That's another big hit coming from the Bay Boks. A bit better from that. That's all they need. A couple of big hits, a couple of big moments. Try and rile themselves up. It was Jaco Koblov that time. Now goes to the boot, does DiBiase. Bester makes the call. It comes backwards. I think forwards off an Argentinian player. No, never mind. Play on, says the referee. It's a good tackle that from Parfi. Good hands this though from Argentina. And it's a great offload. Bit of space now. Down the left-hand side. Having to scramble. Here's Lorenzo Julius. Oh, that's a horrible tackle from Bruce Sherwood. I think that's got to be high, surely. Penalty of Orange Giles. Awful, awful tackle from Bruce Sherwood. On the front foot once again, your Argentina now straight through the middle. He's got the step as well. It's not all the way. Gets the offload away. Oh, he's lost it forward there. And we go back for the high tackle from Bruce Sherwood. I'll tell you what, that was almost try number 4. Should have been try number 4. So if we look at the results for the day, by the way, England beating Fiji 48 points to 11. New Zealand beating France 27 points to 26. Wales hammering Spain 31 points to 10. Whilst Ireland beat Georgia 22 points to 16. It's a nice result there from Georgia. Shows how competitive they are. So, currently 0-0 between Australia and Italy. Italy, by the way, very, very impressive at age group level the last few years. So very interested to see how they sort of continue to grow. In the trophy, by the way, there's been some ridiculous scores. Scotland beat Samoa 123-15. Japan beating Hong Kong 105-20. So some ridiculous scores over there in that trophy. Championship has been a bit more respectable, thankfully. But another only more here for Argentina. They're on the front foot. Looks like they're break through again. Is it going to be a third more try? Much better defense than that. Now they're being driven backwards and short. They now managed to repel the more first one really of the game. Hopefully that's a bit of a turning point. Because at one stage it was looking like every single time they had a line out, they're going to go 30 meters. Every single time it was within the 22, they're going to score. Ball's coming a bit loose there. And the knock-on ball goes out. That's much better defense from the Bay Boks. Hopefully they'll take a bit of confidence out of that. Not going to touch. Zachary Portland's got the option of a scrum or a line-out. I think he will call for the line-out. Well, this is a very interesting call over here. We've got an early substitution here. And Jaco Koblov is replaced by Thomas Dyer. He doesn't look injured either. Well, I'm not entirely sure why that has been made, but we have to wait and see. And it is, by the way, pissing down with the rain. So Argentina have made the most of the early nice conditions. And now it is proper. That's why I said we've got no rain in the high fault. come and play the championship here. I'm so sick of going down and playing in a wet, muddy Stellenbosch where the quality of rugby becomes dreadful every single year. And for what reason? Why? Why are we down in Stellenbosch? Drives me up the wall. Ball available there, but to be left to Shikane. I'll tell you what, I've been impressed by the physicality of this Argentina under-20s. Ball over the top. That's a good. In fact, it's lost forward and picked up here by the Baby Boks. One up by Tian Jacobs. So I was about to say, nobody's actually having a go. So we actually decided to stand up and make a beat or two. A ball available for Asad Moors up towards the 10-meter line. Goes back to Kun. I'll tell you what, the cross kick could have been on there. But he sends it forward and Beston will give chase. Beston doesn't get on the first attempt. Gets across to the second. And that's not a bad kick. It's just going to stay in. It's just going to keep going. In fact, Bruce Sherwood will now dot this down. Right, so 22 dropout, goal line dropout here from the Baby Boks down in the middle of the park. He's going to have a go here. He's going to have a go, and that's a horrible, horrible go. And this will go out and have a scrum back where he kicked it. Benjamin Elizalde deciding, well, why not have a pop? And why not, really? I mean, you nailed it, and you open up a 20 points to nil lead. Why not? But in the conditions, that is fairly dreadful, and it will now be a 22 dropout. So an opportunity to go a bit further downfield here from the Baby Boks. Oh, that's a good carry. And it's a knock on there from Argentina. So turn boy on the halfway line here for the Baby Boks. Morris goes to Bacchus. Now, going to the conditions, yeah. Morris goes to and it's a perfect, just outside 22. Good to chase that from Lorenzo Lewis, but the tackle does slipped. So just outside the 22 here, Argentina. DiBiase having to skip back here. Almost needs to be worried about that user clock once again. Good tackle that on Diego Currie behind the advantage line from the Baby Boks. Now it's a good tackle that on Felipe Bruno. Back in the pocket. And clears does DeLuca. And it'll be a Baby Boks line just past the 10-meter line. Better from South Africa. Got to try and find a try before half-time. I think that's the main thing. If not, try and get two. Not the best throwback, but it's worked out for the Baby Boks. Japan here and going up and achieving that. And it's been left behind. But a penalty against Argentina. So the Baby Boks will be able to kick this further downfield. Just keep it a bit simple, I think, is probably what we really need. Dan says, future is bright, but I don't know why the coach is retaining so much. Our boys went on the field. They've been retained every game. I stand on correction. Yeah, they're having a couple of tweaks. Not too many. I think it's about 4 changes to the team. So it hasn't been like wholesale changes. The man who's actually been replaced early on here was actually on debut. That Thomas Dyer came on for him has just gone up to achieve that. Lots of pressure at the breakdown here from Argentina. Passing, our boys can't beat Argentina, then we might as well give up on future prospects. That's a Naka attitude. Let's just bin the 19-year-olds based on 33 minutes of Under-20 Rugby Championship. And that's going to be a penalty for Argentina, surely. When we turn over ball there, compete. Oh, I'll tell you what, he's been... Oh, I tell you. If it wasn't a penalty advantage, there was trouble there. And Zaki Paulson's having a word there. I don't think he called advantage, but it was definitely holding on. They then actually ripped it in the tackle. And pickpocketed by Van Niekerk, but then they went back for the penalty. And that's the one thing they've been really poor out of the Barry Boks is that protection of the ball. They've not supported the ball carriers particularly well, and we've had far too much turnover ball. So something that needs to be fixed at halftime. All the way back towards the halfway line. It was a good kick that from Argentina. Frustrating because that was our opportunity. As I said, you felt you saw a score there, for example. You can get yourself back in the game. Game's not lost by any means, but we've got to try to score before half time. And once again, a really good looking maul. What I also would say is the whole idea of we can't beat Argentina. This Argentinian side is a good Argentinian side, by the way. If you've been watching under 20 in the last few years, Argentina are on the up, very much on the up. Same thing as like, oh, that's a nice carry there from Bester, and then throws the ball back inside to keep it alive, and it's been fumbled by Kun. Scrambles back, does well in the end. Oh, I'll tell you what, really struggling with the wet now. Slippery ball, lots of balls going, coming off the hands here from the players. Just need to really focus up. Got to try and keep it nice and simple. Very similar conditions actually to what we saw when we played in the Rugby Championship, the Under-20 Rugby Championship, which was also really wet. And this is what I keep saying. Just have your penalty there for the Barry Boks. Have this in Joburg. Like, like, why not? Why would you not bring this tournament to the Highveld? You know, you can go, you'd have no rain, nice orange, tough, hard fields. I mean, if you go to the right schools, they still do have, we do have water up here. But you wouldn't have these kind of conditions. I'm so sick of watching every single under-20 championship. And basically, it's a contest of who can play well in the wet. Every single year. Every single year. Liam asking, has anyone played well this half? JF Van Heerden's been pretty good in the lineup so far. Lorenzo Eulis, when he's had ball in hand, has looked pretty positive. But generally very much struggling with the wet ball. It's a nice take, that. And Jakob's it's an anchor tap. Now leads to their best. He's had a nice game with ball in hand as well. Nice and strong in the carry there. Number 11. Go forward ball. Yeah, for the Bok. Now it's Buckus. What a name that is. Asamus. Nice quick ball. And then knocked backwards by Julius. Does do very well. Had lost it forward and then just knocked it backwards as he was going down. He's lost his footing. Not supporting his body weight. Has to leave that. Does leave that. And that's gone to no one. Jakobs is going to go clean up there. Miscommunication there from the pass from Asad Moore. So I think he needs to take his time and be a bit more accurate. Now Kun dabs it ahead. Best is going to give chase. Oh, he's lost it forward. That's what I'm saying by using the conditions. I'll go back for a scrum inside the 22. Big mistake that from the Pumitas, Los Pumitas, fullback for our half. Santino Daluca, as it popped up, just took his eye off it. So both teams really struggling in the conditions, which are torrid, absolutely horrible. I have no sympathy if World Rugby complains about this because they keep bringing it here. And for SA Rugby, why? The Stellenbosch Mafia keeping it down to this friggin' Stellenbosch every year. So, yeah, conditions really struggling out with both teams. We're seeing a lot of knockouts here from Argentina. We've seen a lot of poor handling from the Barry Boks. I think now for the rest of the game, it's going to be about how you can contend with the conditions. You're looking over there, all the grass and the boots. Right, Jacobs with the back of the scrum there. Solid scrum. It's a good tackle, though, that. And going off his feet there. Penalty against the Barry Boks. I'd love to see the penalty count. So that's been a major, major problem over here. Jen's saying, thoughts on the gents not in the Currie Cup mix or first 15 experience? I think some of the boys deserve first team experience. I know James started for the Bulls. Yeah, I think so. It's been interesting. We've had a lot of conversations about we talk about having such a good school system. Why is that not translating to this level? And I do think exposure to this sort of senior rugby is a massive factor. When we've seen players who have played senior rugby going to play in these championships, they look at different level, and I think that we don't see these players get enough experience. Lorenzo Julius, who's been so highly rated, has never played a senior game. Jay Van Heerd, I think, if I stand to be corrected, I think is the only one here who has played senior rugby, in terms of like a URC game or a Challenge Champions Cup game, for example. Even really Currie Cup, they're not really playing. So I think moving forward, they will play a big part in the Currie Cup. Obviously, the Currie Cup starting this weekend, these players won't be involved, but the Currie Cup runs into August and September. So once they're sort of out of this window, hopefully we'll see some of these guys more involved. Oh, that's a great take. I tell you what a take that is from the Argentina number 14 up against Besta. Tomito Silva. And this is the thing, Argentina are winning every single small battle. Having said that, we have won the ball back. And Jacobs carries strong. But I think we're going to go into the half with a 17-0 deficit, which is not good here. And Asamoah is going to go back, and Kun's going to say we've had enough. And I tell you what, it's going to be a bit of a talking to, I reckon, these players are going to get in the change room. Zachary Porthan applauding his players, saying, come on, let's go and reset. Well, they're going to need a response, aren't they? After being so impressive against Fiji last weekend, they've not had a good outing so far here. Have the Baby Boks. Let's see what they can do in the second half, though. Smash the like on the video, by the way. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys in a few. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Between Two Fans with your two fans, DVP and Mr. Dan Scholz. And we are into July. It is the time is ticking. And do you know what that means, Dan? It means we are into like crunch time with so many different sports. The international tournaments ramping up in the football world. We are firmly into international season. I think the 1st of July does actually signify whenever that sort of rule 52 or whatever it is that World Rugby allows players to be playing for their nations, where the clubs cannot hold them back. And we are also into Olympic month, as well as arguably the biggest tennis event of the year in Wimbledon, which, in between the busyness of working, Mr. Dan Scholz appears to be popping up at a few sporty events. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Dan, how are you?
I'm phenomenal, Stevie. Turns out work doesn't care about busy sporting events, and the Wimbledon being on at the same time as the County Cricket Championship and Euros. So we're having to work double hours for both, and we are not complaining at all. I managed to get myself a little Wimbledon ticket yesterday. Watching Coco Gauff from row one of Centre Court. No, I did not purchase that ticket, but that's
I was about to say.
I do not have the facilities for that quite yet. Maybe ever, but no, phenomenal. But bring on the summer sport. But you're right, it's the kind of out of old, in of the new. It's the big transition time within all the different sporting faculties.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's gonna be funny. One of those things where July, I think, it's gonna be ridiculously hectic, and then suddenly we go into August where everything's sort of quiet and downs a little bit. After that, we'll have a bit of an Olympic hangover, but then the Premier League gets going, so a little bit of football coming back. But Dan, before we get into any sport, let's go through the predictions. Do you want to take us through that?
Stevie, I really, really do. I really do. So for those new around here, Stevie and I predict on 3 sporting matches of the weekend. The biggest ones, at least from through our lens, and then the winner of which gets a point at the end of each week, and we are on the race to 15, and the score was 11 points to 10 in my favor going into this week. We made 3 different predictions. We predicted on Afghanistan Proteas because they had not played their semi-final in the Cricket World Cup T20, as well as India versus England. And then we also predicted on Switzerland versus Italy. First of all, Stevie, Afghanistan versus the Proteas. My prediction was Proteas by either 8 runs or 4 wickets. And Stevie, yours was either by 12 runs or 5 wickets. So none of us very close. And despite us being up at all hours of the morning, I don't think either of us predicted a 56 all out for Afghanistan.
No,
Um,
no, it was mental.
South Africa going on to win that game by 9 wickets with 67 balls remaining, having bowled out Afghanistan for 56 runs in 11.5 overs. So a real sweep there. It was quite remarkable. Up early and managed to get back to bed for a couple more hours of rest before work began. So Stevie, you do take the lead there with your extra wicket choice, and then we move on to India versus England. My prediction was 18 runs or 4 wickets. Stevie, yours was 15 runs or 3 wickets. And I just edged you out. Another blowout win, 2 blowout semi-final wins. India going on to win that one by 68 runs. India posting 171 for 7 after their allotted 20 overs, and England replying with 103 all out in 16.4 overs. So a pretty poor attempt at chasing that one down. So that settles that. That's 1-1. Going into the final game, Switzerland versus Italy, which we both predicted the correct winner. The result was 2-0. Stevie, your prediction was 1-1 and Switzerland to win on penalties. Mine was 2-1. So as a result of mine being a win straight off the bat, I am going to take the dub for that. And by
You
virtue
are
of
really
that,
like chief of Mr. Technicalities, hey?
I mean, it's not like the technicalities were invented this week, eh?
Yeah, well, to
We
be
just
fair, we did have to put in a rule, for example, when we looked at the draws and stuff like that. But you know what I want from you, Dan? I want you to predict something on the money, and not
You know
just be like
what?
two more runs for me in like a 68-1 win.
Listen, Stevie, it's not about being right. It's just about being less wrong.
Yeah, literally. I know. No, put it this way: none of us are giving out betting advice. Like we are so
No.
far off the mark every single time.
But if you're a betting sponsor, get in touch.
Yeah, correct, correct. Maybe you can help us. To be fair.
Yeah, so Stevie, that takes it to 12-10, raised to 15s firmly on. I was thinking maybe there's a Euro shirt that you wouldn't want to wear that I could maybe make you wear, but that Arsenal one seems to be very, very lovely. For those who I don't know what we're speaking about, whoever gets to 15 first gets to nominate a shirt of the others choosing for them to wear for a couple
I'm
episodes
just
as
gonna have
a
you in like an England rugby shirt, dude. Don't stress.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you see, I'm starting to think Ireland rugby shirt. Maybe
Yeah.
by the end of the series, it might be a whole different type of Ireland we're speaking about.
I mean, you can have your
And
all
that's
black shirts and have your black passport burn on re-entry.
that is true. Stevie, good transition. Let's get into the rugby this weekend, and it is the big test match we've all been waiting for: South Africa versus Ireland at Loftus.
Yeah, listen, it doesn't get any bigger than this. And I've been in the various camps over the last few weeks, and I'll tell you what, very interesting how calm and relaxed both camps are. Yes, that was up the road. Taking to the Irish guys, Paul O'Connell, the forwards coach, gave a press conference, as did Calvin Nash, and very, very relaxed. Paul O'Connell, actually, I mean, it's a very cool press conference that's come up on the channel this morning. He was asked about the Rusty Erasmus media antics, and he said he actually made a good joke. He said, "Well, in all fairness, if we had won the World Cup, people probably would also be asking us to come on podcast, but nobody wants to speak to us." So. Which I thought was not wrong, but it was good of him to acknowledge that basically he's like, well, these guys are gonna have to do a lot of media because they've won a World Cup, and he said that credit to Rusty. He said the life of a head coach is so hectic. He says you got to try and find a way to make it fun, and he does do the media, and he enjoys it, and he's really good at it. So it was quite funny how he sort of played off because we all get so, and world rugby, the world sort of media gets so obsessed with the Rusty Erasmus media stuff, and so many fans hate it, and you've got the Irish guy going, he's good at it, whatever, it's fun. So interesting that they played it off there. Rusty Rasmus, if you haven't watched that press conference yesterday, could not have been in a better mood. Have you heard the joke about the Sharks that he made?
Yeah. No, Sharksmen taking up their positions, and they all went underneath the poles, having conceded or lost 8 games on the trot.
Yeah,
It's
so
unbelievable banter from him, and the only person who could probably say that while sitting next to
Eben
Evan
Etzebeth. Yeah, exactly. Even made a bit of a chirp about how much money Eben makes. So it's been a very interesting environment because it has been so relaxed. We are obviously quite early in the week. Be interested to see how things sort of go. I've got Andy Farrell on tomorrow evening, which is going to be fun, and then obviously Sia Khaleesi's one Dealer Stick show on Friday. So, look,
And
the it's definitely ramp.
you have if you're a world champion and haven't lost in a while, right? Like
Yeah,
imagine Warren Gatlin now going up to a press conference off the back of 8 losses with
and talking
Wales
about
and
how bad the flipping like the Dragons were this season, dude.
yeah.
He probably would, to be fair, but he would do it in such a different way. He'd be like, "Look what I'm dealing with. I've got this shit team that can't win
Yeah.
like more than 2 URC games, and now you're expecting me like to beat Australia away? Like, come on, Alex."
Yeah, his isn't sarcasm, unfortunately.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be. I mean, look, I mean, yesterday SuperSport dropped a whole hype video that the Springboks in collaboration with the Springboks about the whole new rivalry. Um, it's been interesting. I'm very
Yep,
interested to
the
see.
zombie tour, hey Stevie.
Yeah, the zombie tour, which I want to chat a bit about because there's a couple of articles where the Irish fans have warned in inverted commas South Africans not to sing the Rassie song. And it's a very interesting scenario because it's a bit like the singing Swing Low Sweet Chariot in the England Stadium, and people sort of say that it's not very appropriate to sing these days. So a lot of the Irish fans are quite upset by the taking of the song Zombie, which they sing and turning into Rassie. The reason being that there are quite a lot of sort of cultural associations with the zombie and the relevance about that and
Yeah, there
it's
was
an interesting.
it's a protest song against a bombing that happened, I believe, from the Irish Armed Forces in the
Yeah,
conflict between North and Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, and there were two people that died in these
two
bombings,
children,
and two
two
children that
children.
died in
Yeah,
these bombings, and the song is um, kind of an ode to that. And I mean, Ireland rugby in of itself is, I think, the only Irish sport where Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland actually play
mm,
together, which is why they sing their national anthem is like Ireland together standing tall because it's a testament to both countries kind of coming together. And yeah, as you mentioned, the kind of the sweet low or swing low sweet chariot is also got some different historical kind of background.
mm,
The reality is, I just don't think. I think it's gone past that stage, unfortunately. And the only way I see it not happening, because I know the fans will sing it. I heard it in Twickenham last
the
weekend,
Rassie song
or
as opposed to zombie itself.
the Russie song.
Yeah,
I saw it. I heard it just being sung by the crowd,
yeah,
with no prompt whatsoever. So that's going to happen with no prompt whatsoever. Whether they play it over the big speaker
yeah.
and maybe some powers that be, kind of relay a message to be like, listen, we're not going to play it. Um, I imagine it is going to get played though. It absolutely is.
Yeah, I don't think the especially the Loftus DJ has come under a bit of fire lately. I don't think he's got quite um the I don't think he's clued up enough to understand the potential ramifications of it to not play it. It'll be one of those things that'll definitely get played. It's an interesting situation, isn't it? Look, to be fair, there has been criticism even for the fact that the Irish fans sing it and that it has become a bit of a rugby anthem, which sometimes some people are saying sort of trivializes the meaning of the song. My controversial opinion is I don't particularly like the Rassie song because I've just heard it so many effing times. Actually, going around France and like every single bar to this to that coming back and every single bar and it gets sung so it's just been
You
sung to
say
death.
that, but then you've
Ugh.
had 2 pints, and then all of a sudden it's impossible not to sing.
Well, we'll see this weekend. I think
Yeah.
if Ireland do go out and hammer us, maybe we might not be
Yeah,
singing
I,
it
th- I
for
think
much
listen,
longer.
the winner earns the right to sing the song, right? I, I I think the song is going to be sung regardless. Like you can,
You're certainly
pay.
not stopping the South Africans from singing it. Put it
Yeah,
that way.
absolutely. You absolutely aren't, and I think there's maybe an acknowledgement of like its significance, but everyone's saying, well, like this is being sung, it's been sung for a long time, and or it's more that it's just picked on and it's become bigger than than the song itself,
Yeah,
and it's almost like it's like this is how we defend Rassie,
yeah,
this the the Messiah himself. And this literally, every single Springbok fan in Loftus does view Rassie as exactly that. So it's going to be hard to persuade him otherwise. But Stevie, let's quickly get into the lineups and or what's been announced for the weekend. We don't have the Ireland team. We do have
Well,
Rassie
we do have the
Erasmus
Ireland team.
predicted.
Yeah, I was about to say we've got the Ireland team that Rassie Erasmus is expecting. And to be fair, everyone's talking about like he's the genius. He's predicted the Ireland team. If you do believe that, then you have been watching Ireland because a 5-year-old could predict that Ireland team. One thing about Andy Farrell is that he does not adjust to other teams. He's got his 23, and we basically can pick it.
He also, yeah, I mean, he also did
It's
this with England at the semi-final of the World Cup.
yeah.
He also predicted their team. It's not unlike him, but yeah,
The England prediction was more fun because then they were still sort of playing around with what's going to happen, for example.
yeah.
Whereas this
No one
Irish
had lead
team,
England. Yeah,
it's not. I mean, Andy Farrell's not going to suddenly put Dan Sheehan on the bench this weekend and be like, "Oh, that's a big one," and like he's not going to suddenly bring Josh van der Fleer off the bench and be like, "Oh, that's like a bomb squad." Like we know what the Ireland team is going to be this weekend. The
and
only call inverted commas is going to be Craig Casey or Conor Murray to start, but I think it's inevitable Craig Casey will start because he's the closest to a Jamison Gibson Park alternative.
I also think it's quite funny because I think it's a bit of a spite at all other coaches. Just
Right, and we are back after a disappointing first half for the Baby Boks, who've got to respond yet. 17-0 down at half time and not played a very good half. Very frustrating, very, very, first of all, not even just sloppy, but just didn't look like they really had much of a plan. And they've now had a halftime chat, and let's see what they change and if they change anything, because at the moment things will have to change. Obviously, an opportunity for some of the bench players coming later. But I think all we've seen is just not a lot of. I'm not surprised that's not hands in. Turnover ball here from Argentina. So as I'm saying that, we lose the ball, and ball retention has been shocking tonight. A little ball over the top and goes over the head of Boucher, who's now in a bit of pressure. It has been horrible conditions, but it's just like we kind of been playing without a bit of a plan. It was very predictable on attack, and there was a bit of slip there. And Argentina, on the other hand, have looked very, very solid. They've done the basics very well, which I think was something we've struggled with. And they've been the much better side. So we'll have to wait and see how things go. Obviously, you can only sort of judge a game on its full 80 minutes. But on the first 40, then it was pretty poor and very worrying signs for this Baby Sox side. We've got some nice players in there, but at the moment, not coming together. And that's a guy's take from Kun. The moment Baby Boks very much parked inside their own half. Lucas Buckus trying to get an angle here for us and Mus. And I think we need to really get a kicking game spot on here. And as I said, he lifts it up. And it's gone absolutely nowhere. It's allowed to bounce, and it is going to be a knock on from an Argentina player. So it will be no, never mind. It's a penalty for Argentina against the Baby Boks. Yeah, it's been horrible. Something like that sort of really sums that up. So once again, starting off by being back inside our N22 in front of a proper Argentinian wall, which has been very effective so far. Scored 2 tries from it, so not where we want to be. They got to the front of the line. It's a good take that from Argentina. The question is, have the coaches identified an area where we can try and stop this Argentinian wall? Early indication would suggest no, but now it is starting to, it has gone short. Is this going to be potentially turned over? Up and turned over, yeah. So there we go. That's a nice moment. A couple of high fives there from the Baby Boks. Justin saying, I'm going to cap a bong now and slick a dope. This game's making me, look, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, don't you? When you're watching this kind of performance, yeah, you need to get onto the good stuff. So whatever helps you go through this, strength to everyone watching at the moment, because it's not been a very, very good watch. As I said, I don't particularly care about I don't want to use the conditions as an excuse because both teams are playing it, but I'm just looking at the conditions and they are horrible. And I just can't understand why we want to do this. There's going to be an HIA there, by the way. So it looks like, I think it was the outside center that is making his way off for Argentina. There was a head clash. And I think that's actually that whole thing. And I think they're actually reviewing that whole sort of gum guard thing, basically where they register a clash above a certain threshold. Then you get replaced and you have to go off for an HIA. So there will be a check. It was actually Thomas Medina, the inside center, who's off. So on comes Philippe Ledesma. Right, so there's a very box scrum here on their 5-meter line. Need a good clearance out of here. I need to try and start playing rugby in the other end of the field. Right, it's by Newkirk, the inside centre. He's carried strongly with very little support throughout this evening. And now Moose goes back to Kun's left boot. And he will find touch. Not a best touch finder either. That's going to be about halfway between the 22 and the 50 and the 10. He's not particularly happy with the assistant referee. He reckons he got more than that. I think the most important thing here is to score first. You score first, get yourself back to the game. But at the moment, it's been all Argentina early on here in the first 5 minutes. Penalty advantage as well. And you see things like that. It's just so stupid. And it's so frustrating, the lack of, you can blame the coaching about a lot of things, lack of structure on attack, for example, a lack of being able to sort of defend the maul and stuff. But things like that, stupid errors, are where the players here start taking a bit more responsibility. And Argentina, after having been repelled, are going to kick themselves back into the 22. Or has he? Has he gotten that wrong? He has got that just right, has DeLuca. And they kick to the corner here. And I think that, I was about to say he's been hooked here. I think we are about to see, I was going to actually make a mention. I wonder when we might see Sivabale Mahasha come on here for Tabang Pafi, who conceded that penalty. And I think we are going to see a change. He was looking towards the bench there. And here comes Sivabale Mahasha. Good, nice player. Taking their time to get you, Argentina. Zach reported to change the referee, trying to get some clarity about what that penalty was for. Still waiting here for Argentina to get going. Yeah, we've got some running repairs on one of their players. Just saying, do you think our South Africans rely too much or expect too much from our teams? I think we always overreact when it comes to under 20s, to be perfectly honest. I always think that we should be competitive in this tournament, but I also think that this tournament means very little in the grand scheme of things. So when I watch these tournaments, I'm more watching to see what the players coming through potentially. And it's a big penalty that for obstruction against Argentina. So that'll give them a bit of doubt when they go back to that running maul. I do think we put far too much weight into under 20. I think we freak out every single time we don't win it, which is basically every year. We haven't won this since back, 2012 or whatever it was. In fact, I think even before then. So, we know that we produce so many players, like the country with the most professional rugby players in the world. And so we've always got a very high expectation for the players that we do see. And as a result, we've always got a very high expectation for the team itself. I do think we need to adjust our structures to allow these players more exposure to senior level rugby and high standards of rugby by the time they get. And it's stolen by Argentina. When it's going well for you, it's going well for you. And it's going very well for Argentina. That looks like a bit of a forward. No, apparently flat. And missed the tackle there from Bruce Sherwood. Down the right-hand side, Argentina back into the 22 they go. Now, cross kick into the 22. That's a good one as well. Pop up here. offload. Leclerc has been held off there. Argentina in the front foot, looking for options. Gets it behind. Good hands. Steps back inside. And they'll be driven out. A scramble defense there from the Baby Boks. It does work in the end, but cheapers, we just can't get anything right at the moment. Yeah, so I do think that we do have high expectations when it comes to this tournament, and we haven't really met them. We've actually not got much reason to have high hopes for this tournament. If you look historically, we've not had phenomenal success when it comes to the Under-20 Championship. But we rate our school system so high. But I think that's the issue, isn't it? It's working out. Why are we not seeing? That's a horrible line out. Well, that's a player area, isn't it? I mean, we've just spoken about, certain things that are coachable and uncoachable, and that is horrible from Luka Bacchus, who has gotten it so wrong. I mean, maybe a wet ball, but he's basically thrown this so low, he's thrown it into the hands of an Argentinian player who just dived over. That is horrible. And you can see the second player as he goes up is like, dude, what was that? Yeah, listen. Very little to say about that instant. But, I mean, yeah, let's look at the history of the Under-20 Championship. New Zealand have the most, by the way, with 20. After that, England have got 3, and France have got 3. England have got 6 runners-up. New Zealand have got 1 runners-up. We, by the way, have the record number of third places with 9. So we've got 12 top 4s, which is the most of any team. So we consistently come in the top 4. But we've only won this once. And it was 2012. I was right. So as I said, historically, we've done well in this tournament, but we've never really gone the distance, haven't we? Not enough anyway, compared to New Zealand 6. So it is a tournament which I don't put a lot of weight on. There are players over here that could very well win World Cups. There are lots of future Springbok legends potentially even playing here, and I think there are. I think talent-wise, you look at a Batabile Hlakani, you look at a JF in here, and you're looking at a Lorenzo Julius. There are some proper players in this side. Is the side good? Well, 24-0 down to Argentina with half an hour to play. You'd probably suggest different. But I don't think we need to suddenly free. And that's another lost line. I'll tell you, get him off. Get him off. He's now lost 3 lineouts. You've got to make a change here at hooker now, Bafana. Because at the moment, Mr. Luka Bacchus is nowhere from his lineouts. He's gifted them a try. Every single time we try to get some momentum back, he's thrown a bad line out. And I mean, those are just the basics, aren't they? Right, penalty advantage for the Baby Boks on the front foot. Here is Lucas Bacchus. So I reckon we're going to see Ethan Bester coming on very, very soon. That's a horrendous pass from Kun. And we'll go back for the penalty. The basics have been dreadful so far this evening. Jane says that, as I say, I feel like the coach can stop rotating players into different positions every game and they'll gel better. Quinn says, I thought we had the best player talent in the world. Well, as I said, I don't think this is a reflection necessarily of this. I don't think that it's fair to look at your under-20s as your benchmark of where you are with rugby. There's a lot of players here who, as I mentioned, will play lots of games for the Springboks. There are probably a lot of players who haven't been picked who will play for the Springboks. So that's also another thing. Are we identifying the best players, for example? Yes, we've got so many talented players. Are we getting the right players through the system? And I think what we genuinely have is a bit of a gap between schoolboy and under-20. I think that we've got a very good Varsity Cup, for example. A lot of these players have gotten that exposure. But some of these players, for example, have played a little bit of under-21 rugby. But age group rugby compared to senior rugby are a whole different kettle of fish. Now, that is the much better looking rolling more here from the Baby Boks. We are 5 meters out. Lorenzo Julius adds this is going to be a try. Has to be a try. Just short penalty advantage here, though, for the Baby Boks. No, penalty try. There we go. We're back on the boards here, boys. Well, that's got the crowd up. And there's a card as well. So that might yet make things a little bit interesting. So we need something to happen, and a penalty try. Well, maybe that's nice. Again, it was in the corner, so it would have been a difficult conversion. So 24 points to 7, and Bruno is into the bin for and we called them off on the kickoff. By the way, an interesting law in trial currently happening. If you kick it deep into the 22 off the kickoff, you can mark it. I actually don't mind that as a just tap and go and giving it to the big man. I don't mind it actually as a rule change. I think it promotes more kickoffs between the 22 and the halfway line, which are obviously more contestable. I don't think we necessarily need it. I don't think that's a law that needs to be changed. I think sometimes we're looking at changing laws for the sake of it. I think that's a bit arbitrary. I don't really mind it because I think that maybe it adds a bit of different aspect to the game. I just think it's a bit needless. Another penalty this time for Argentina for going off their feet at the breakdown. And it is Lucas Bacchus who is having a tough time. And I think we'll see best on very, very soon in at hooker. I mean, Joel Stransky, Italy currently leading Australia at 14 points to 7, saying there's another upset on the cards. If you have watched any under 20 rugby in the past few years, that is not an upset. Italy under 20s has been good for a long, long time. Frustrates me when we go and get commentators all around the back, just short. That's great defense, by the way, from the Baby Boks. It's a knock on actually. You go and grab, pundits, ex-players, stuff like that. So your big commentators for a landmark tournament, and they don't go and do the research. This Italian under 20 side have been good for a while. This is not news. If we look at their previous results, for example, they beat Scotland 47 points to 14. They beat France 23 points to 20. They lost to Ireland by 1 point in the Six Nations under 20. They lost to England, but they hammered Japan last year. So this year they have lost to two teams, and won by 1 point, which is Ireland. They beat France. They beat Scotland. Lost to Wales. Three teams. I take it back. But it's not a bad side. Did lose to Ireland last weekend. It wasn't great from Italy, but yeah, I mean, to say Italy, beating Australia is an upset. It's not like Australia under 20s have been particularly good recently. But anyway. Jaden saying we have the best talent, but stop comparing them to a side that won 2 World Cups in a row. I mean, Zurenda just trying to run it up from zone 22. That's a bit of a favourable bounce. Bruce Sherwood picked this up towards the halfway line. Wants to reset this quickly. Has he come through and played it back? Penalty advantage for the Baby Boks. So an opportunity now to get further downfield. That's a bit better. As I said, I don't freak out about results like this. I really don't. If we go out the group stages, we go out the group stages. That's disappointing. It's frustrating. Yes, we look at the coaching staff, make changes, but that's not going to give me cause to start stressing about the future of Springbok rugby. Because these kids are 19 and 20 years old. Calvin says, what's your take on the 2-stop more change? I don't really mind it. We need to see more of it in practice. I think that's always the problem, because there's certain rules that you always think, oh, that's a good rule. And then you see it in practice, you think, oh, it's actually crap. And there's also rules where you're like, well, that's cuck. And then you see it in practice. I mean, 50-22, let's be honest, I don't think any of us were particularly happy with the 50-22 rule. It's a cool rule. It's changed the game. It definitely has. That's been a really good rule change. I think we'll have to wait and see. In theory, I don't think it's too bad. I like the use it once. Okay, then let's go. Obviously, they want to try and promote a bit more fluidity and a bit more sort of expansive rugby. Tell you what, we could use a bit of a maul change this game, the way that our maul has suffered at the hands of the Argentines, and that's a very. You see, and Lekani, they're losing the ball in contact. Now that's where we've been really poor tonight. It's come on sort of the basic errors. and it will be a knock-on, and it will be a scrum. By the way, he has passed the HRA, has Thomas Medina for Argentina, so Ledesma has gone off, and the number 12 is back on. That's good to see. Quinton saying, Franco Spiller responsible for Italian structures being so good. Yeah, so I think it's as I said, we'll have to really see what the effects are. Obviously, sometimes it takes a bit longer for more to be forward before you then start shoving. Now you don't really have that time. You kind of have to have it set from the get go. So let's see. We've got internationals coming up now. We've got the Rugby Championship. So I what's the word I'm looking for? I delay my opinion on it until I see it more in practice. I think because until we really see how it works, then we don't know. Bass says, if you look at the Bok Double World Cup winners, they literally all come from the under-20s. So under-20s matter. Warrior signs ahead of the speech. No, it doesn't, because that is a free kick, by the way, to Argentina. It doesn't matter. We could lose every single game over here. That doesn't suddenly mean Springbok Rugby is going to disappear overnight. We won the title in 2012. Let's look at how many of those players were. Let's look at the final, shall we? Let's go to the final. Can we go to the final and look at that team? Here we go. And Sherwood's knocked the ball on. You see, things like that. I mean, that's just where the game is lost. Final, here we go. Trying to see if we've got the teams for that final. Doesn't look like it, does it? 2012 Under-20 Championship final teams. Right, the 2012 Junior Boks. Here we go. There's a bit of where are they now article. So these are the baby Boks that won this. Right, Dylan Lace, not part of the Springboks. Raymond Duda, not part of the Springboks. Kubas van Beek, not part of the Springboks. Jan Tervetet, not part of the Springboks. Shorter Mabavani, not part of the Springboks. 100 Pollard, double World Cup winner. Vian van der Vat, not part of the Springboks. Fabian Boysen, not part of the Springboks. Peter the Toy, double World Cup winner. Not Vian Liebenberg, not part of the Springboks. Ruan Buerta, not part of the Springboks. Paul Willemse, plays rugby for France. Max van Dijk, Mark Pretorius, Stephen Kitsoff. So 3 players over there who went on to have really good Springbok careers in the starting 15. So yes, it's important. It's not that important. That's all I said. It's not the be all and end all. I'm not stressing. Why must I stress? I'm not going to sit here on a Thursday night and panic about the future of Springbok Rugby when we've been talking about how incredible the Springbok Rugby depth is currently happening. So, yeah. Anyway, we got a scrum from the penalty. I mean, a penalty from the scrum. Scrum from the penalty. Penalty from the scrum. And they got marched back 10 meters as well for throwing the ball away. So we are now finding ourselves just outside the 22. We also have Ethan Bester onto the park. And hopefully that will sort out. And that's a much better throw from him. So good early signs. And looking for the rolling more. You're not phenomenally well set. Ethan Bester under a bit of pressure. Asad Moose is going to have to arrive quickly. The ball is available though. 20 minutes left on the clock here. Batabila Hlakane. Nice solid carry from him. Good work there from Niekirk as well. Nice flat ball. Good hands. Where have we seen that all of a sudden? Nice little pop from Lorenzo Hughes and a bit of intent to recycle the ball. Then we drop it backwards. And then Kun knocks it forward on the ground. Must admit, not been overly impressed by Liam Kun. And this is the second game when I've seen him and not looked particularly impressed by him. Get on Tyler Stafur is my call. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why we've, I was having particularly, I mean, that's just a basic ball on the ground, freaking focus, 9 handling errors from Argentina, 5 from South Africa, so we have been better in theory, but we had there for the first time 3 or 4 phases which looked really promising, and then we knocked the ball on the ground. Very, very, very frustrated. As he was saying, most under-20s won't make it. I was a good flanker under 20, but a senior, because I never grew to 6'2", I would be at a massive disadvantage now, which is why players like Peter Steph Toy make it. Liam saying, isn't Tlhakane only a first year under 20, so he can play again next year? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I think he's turning 19 this year, so I think he will be involved next year as well, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Sherwood goes himself slightly isolated, and Leotlela and Asamus there to secure that ball. Ball available for the Junior Boks just outside the 22. JF van Heerden. A player we might see a bit more for the Bulls in the Currie Cup later on this year, or sort of in August, September. That's not a bad kick, and a deep restart. Now, in fact, they go inside here to Argentina. Now, going himself, good tackle that in the end from the replacement lock. And they knocked it on, lost the ball forward here. So Junior Boks have won the ball back. Goes to the boot there, does Aston Moos, and not very happy with one of the other players, but it's good pressure there from Leotlela on Franco Rizzotti. And he's all over that ball as Leotlela. Surely a penalty must be coming here for the Baby Boks. I think we're going back for another penalty for a different infringement. You can see Tlhakane there understanding the urgency here. 18 minutes on the clock, and I have to go to the corner here on the halfway line. 3 more converted tries would get us the victory, but it's a long, long way away, isn't it? "17 minutes left. Worrying signs here for the Baby Boks, who trail by 17 points. Right at the back here goes Mahashe. Now Leotlela comes and joins the line. Into the 22, Baby Boks go. A little bit of discipline needed now. Score here, game could potentially be on. I mean, it's a big ask, but could potentially be on. He actually scored twice really in the next sort of 10 minutes. That's a nice carry. And then the ball's lost forward. And that sums it up, doesn't it? A couple of nice phases, and then the ball knocked on. I think that's probably more worrying, really. I mean, if the structures aren't good and you can change coaches, whatever, when you see him basics not being good enough, and I think he'll be the first to admit, I think it's Tian Jacobs who loses this ball forward, that he's got to do better. Ball in one hand there, and then, yeah, being ripped in the tackle. Like, that's not good enough. So it's the handling errors for me, which are probably more worrying than the overall performance. You know, that's kind of basic errors. And Jean Pedro Bernasconi has been replaced by Augustine Sarelli. I like to see, can we see Josh Bull on, by the way? I watched him a lot of Varsity Cup. Big player, very cool to watch. It is a 5-man lineup here for the A-Box by the 22. Or by the 50 meter rather. Halfway line. It is, yeah, they do compete to Argentina, but it does fall back to the A-Box. Van Niekerk, once again, not been bad today. Had a very limited opportunity to go over the advantage line. Now JF van Heerden with assistance from Bester. Now Kun decides to... Oh, I'll tell you what, almost sets up perfectly. Now knocked on there by... I think that was Rossetto, but not a bad option there to just chip it in behind from Kun. Bit of space, and Leotlela almost got there first. Right, so we've gone for the scrum here. did. He probably wanted a penalty out of this, really. Actually, under pressure ourselves. So Mus does use it. Goes to Van Niekerk. Another strong carry from him. Right, let's see how many. Oh, he's gone over past the vertical there, but a legal tackle there on Van Heerden. I was about to say, let's count how many phases before he knocked the ball forward. The answer is 3. 3. Anstey's saying, that's a few rips now and an intercept. Need to protect that egg better. Correct. Calvin's saying, been a better second half. Just need to try not to make it worthwhile. It has definitely been a better half. I think, you look back at this game and that first 10 minutes killed us. Conceding those 2 tries, especially that second try was annoying. The second half has definitely been better. But we're just chasing the game then. You can't be chasing the game 2 tries down in 10 minutes. You're always in the back foot, aren't you? All right, another scrum here. This will be the Argentina ball. And we've actually stolen it. So about to beat after Khan's come away with it, and eventually the referee's gone to the whistle. He actually wanted to let that play before he's brought it back. Boo! Boo! Let the ball's jaw. 12.5 minutes left on the clock, and this has been horrible, horrible. It's been a rude awakening for the Junior Boks. By the way, it's not the end of the world. It's not us out of the tournament or anything. It is, however, us very much suddenly having to shape up or ship off. So we still do have, if I'm not mistaken, the England to play. And where are we at? Where are we at? Which is, I believe, on Saturday, Sunday. It is England. When is it? When is this? Tuesday. Tuesday we play against England. So 7 o'clock Tuesday next week. That is the big one, isn't it? Beat England and we're through. And if we looked at the result, by the way, England pumped Argentina 40 points, 21. So it'll have to be a hell of a performance if we are to go beat England. But I suppose go and prove a point, Go and show people what you're all about. Kun goes to the little jab over the top. Lorenzo Judas is going to give chase here. That's really good tracking, that. Been pretty solid since coming back on, has Tommaso Medina. And it has been touched, so everybody's on side. Clear's coming back, and he's completely overrun it. And thankfully for him, his opposite wing, Franco Rossetto, has kicked it into the full. Because he had completely overrun that, had Joel Clela. So we're going to the last 10 minutes here. And here comes Josh Bull, who replaces Joel Clela. We have seen him on the wing where he put in that ridiculously big tackle in the Rugby Championship. So, nothing else brings a lot of physicality, does Josh Bull. It'll be interesting to see if he does go to the wing or if he goes to the centre. I think he has taken that position on the wing. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him into the action quite early on here. Asamus goes to BITDEFENDER, just outside 22. Not quite had the same sort of game as he had against Fiji last week. And Moose goes back to Kun, who's had, nice, had a charge down, and that's going to be another try. I think he's gotten it, I think he's gotten it. The referee's going to have a check here. I think Jean Pinacos has got through the man who charged down Liam Kun, and I think he's managed to start down as well and behind the line. So we have to wait and check. This could be a nightmare moment here for Liam Kun, who I don't think will be playing the next game. I was been questioning why he's still on, to be perfectly honest. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen here. But I think this could have been a try that really sums up the game, which has been inaccurate from the Baby Boks. I think he's gotten it, I think he's gotten it, chap. So the question is, does Kun get grounding first? No. No, this is going to be a try. That is awful, awful, awful from Liam Kun. I think it's going to be awarded, I think it's going to get awarded. Well, any comeback to make the scoreline look a little bit more respectable is about to be snuffed out because Argentina are about to be awarded their 5th try of the evening. Yep. The try has been awarded. Oh, goodness me. What a night to forget, Right, well, there we go. Liam Kun, who struggled tonight. His night's gone significantly worse. The charge down, and he scored. And Argentina go to 29 with 10 minutes to go. Jean Pinacos, well, it's a second try in this championship. He's actually a strong game today. And putting the pressure on Liam Kun with the charge down, getting there ahead of him as well. And now Santino Daluca, who has 2 from 4, actually not kicked brilliantly, has got a much easier attempt, and he does just pop that over, and Argentina go to 31 points to 7 with 9.5 minutes left on the clock. Well, the Junior Boks is probably 9 minutes too much. Right, here comes Tyler Safua on for Bruce Sherwood, though. So Liam Kun will remain on. Everybody misses out that kickoff, and it's thrown back into the field by Argentina. It falls into the hands of Josh Bulls. So Baby Boks with possession outside that 22. Asamus goes to the pack now, keeping it nice and close. Another good offload that from Porthen to Casper Bodenhorst, who remains on. Does Porthen. Interesting to see how long he's played. Could carry that from Thomas Dyer. I think we'll see him starting next week. Now good wrap around. Liam Kun, that's a horrible pass. On the bounce here, it's Lethal Bester. Penalty advantage for the Baby Boks as well. Porthen now. Very highly rated, Zachary Porthen. Rusty Russ was even name dropped him in the press conference the other day. Moose. Klikani now. Getting away from 1, getting away from 2. Still going, Slikani. Still going. Taking a couple with him over the 22. Much better that from the number 7. Need to see a bit more of that from him. And almost straight through goes Lorenzo Julius. Now JF Van Heerden to his lock partner. Ball available here. This is much better from the Baby Boks. Philip Van Niekerk going himself. Zachary Porthen pick up and go. Much, much better here. Going through the phases. We haven't had this kind of passage of play the entire game. Another pick up and go. Almost through the gap. Still going. Still going. Just short here of the Baby Boks. One more phase and this could be enough. And it's a horrible pass to the side. We're going to go back for the penalty. Try line fever. And there was a penalty advantage, so we got to stop them to play. There is an injured Argentinian player. I think there actually might be two, to be fair. Well, you kind of wonder, where has that been? Where has that been? Much better handling, proper intent with ball in hand, a couple of offloads. Looking at, I can see that's where the collision is. So it is a penalty over here. We are going to get planned away with a quick tap. JF Van Heerden wants to take it. And you see a tap and go. This goes to Zachary Porthen, the captain. He's going to have to try and really rally his troops in the next few days. They are to try and go to the next round. It's a big tackle that on JF. In fact, it's not JF Van Heerden. That's Thomas Dyer. It'll be a scrum for Rugby Boks. You just want to say quickly, and the referee very quickly saying it was a scrum. JF Van Heerden trying to find out what the scrum is for. That'll wind down some time. There's 7 minutes left on the clock. Argentina with the bonus point, by the way, with that 31 points to 7 scoreline at the moment, with 5 tries to just the single penalty try, in fact, it was, from the Baby Box. And now Thomas Rapetti giving way for Gal Gavan at tight head. Right, come on, lads. Let's see. Go to the blind side. Just put Josh Bull one-on-one. Well, it's a huge scrum penalty for Argentina. Never mind. Take it all back. I take it all back. It was a nice idea. Nice idea to score a try and look like a half-decent rugby team. But deciding, nah, no need for that just yet. And what has been a bit of a disaster class continues to be, well, just that, a disaster class. Not going well here. Right, so 5 minutes left officially before this horror show. It's the only way you can really put it. Comes to a bit of an end. It's not been the game I really felt like watching Thursday night. I was really hoping to see some nice rugby, some positives. You know, go to bed nice and enthusiastic about our chances of beating England next week and topping the log. Now it's all about, can we beat England next week to stay in the competition? So not ideal at all. Thankfully, we got a bit of a reprieve there with a skew line from Argentina, so an option of a scrum or a line out. And we will be taking the scrum. We're going to have a reset here because Casper Barton also is not happy with with whatever with the lineup over there. Don't worry, mate. It's not like we're losing by like 20, 24 points. You know, we're not. It's fine. We've got time to have a reset scrum. Don't you stress. Don't you stress, buddy. Get your alignment right for this scrum, which counts so much. There we go. Scrum for the Baby Boks. And back to you, Renzo Julius. Quickly taken out by Asamoah. Van Heerden with a chop tackle on him there. Inside ball there to Julius. Julius almost through into the 22. Pick up and go from Bester. Another pick up and go. This time it is Keanu Kutsia. Penalty advantage for the Baby Boks. Pick up and go from the replacement tight end, Badenhorst. And Kun goes to the cross kick and kicks it full. That's pretty terrible. Right, we have tap and go here. JF Van Heerden is there. Now on the right-hand side. Van Niekerk almost through the gap. Backed up by Josh Bull. And it's ripped in the tackle. And hacked into touch. So it should be I think it'll be a 5-meter line scrum actually here. Wasn't there any chances there was Felipe Ledesma. I'll tell you what, the replacement tight end for Argentina, Gal Gavon, is massive. That is a proper unit there. Well, nothing like having to climb a mountain, quite literally there in Cape Town. The only reason the solid competition is down is for that stupid mountain. Another penalty quickly taken for Asamoah. Philip Van Niekerk also through is over. We're going to have a retake here by the mark with 1 minute left. Can we go a try? Batibile Hlakane. Just short. Pick up and go from JF Van Heerden. No, sorry, this is JF Van Heerden. JF Van Heerden just short. Ball available. Lorenzo Julius there. Oh, Badenhorst is chopped in half. Julius now. Good defense here from Argentina. Really desperate stuff this from the South Americans. Just short. Ball available there. Hlakane. Just short there. Good defense once again. Moose goes to Badenhorst. Badenhorst bounced off one. Just short is Badenhorst. Has that ball going to come out? No, it's still available there. And it's good work that from Van Heerden. They've just held him up here. The clock has gone red. The hooter is gone. Will we finally get a consolation try? Bester, just short. Julius playing as an extra forward at the moment. Maharsha now calling for it. Let's pick up and go. Just short, trying to recycle it once again. Guys, go to the back line. I mean, might as well. Ball available. Once again, short. And then knocked on. But there was a penalty advantage. There was a penalty advantage, so we will have another go. And there's a yellow card. I don't think it'll make much of a difference, really. But yes, can we surely we can find a consolation try? Has he gone over? Has he got grounding there, Lakhani? I think he might. He does. He does have grounding. Well, he gets a try to his name for his efforts, Lakhani. He throws the ball away almost in disgust at the performance of the Baby Boks. And 7 points, well, 12 points, 31 with a kick to come. Not part of the plan. Very, very ill-disciplined, sloppy, uninspiring, really, performance from the Baby Boks. They can still, however, qualify. They are going to have to beat England next week, Tuesday. So they'll know exactly what to do. I think Bafana Nhleko, well, he's going to have to pull something out of the bag here if he were to keep being backed after this tournament. So he's going to have to make sure he gets that team selection right. Not convinced he got it right today. Some players that have really, really struggled in this game as we wait for Liam Kun to have his first effort on goal. The first try was actually a penalty try, so it didn't even have an effort on goal. It is the first kick of the match. Yo, and that's a dreadful kick. Just to sum it up. Right, well, final score, 31 points to 12. Junior Boks have been hammered by a very, very impressive Los Pumitas side. Look at the celebration, what it means to them. They keep their hopes alive. They've got to place against a Fiji side, which not look particularly good. So I think vantage, Los Pumitas, the Baby Boks, with everything to play for against England. We'll wait and see how that goes next week. Please just smash like.